What we're going to do today is talk about how AI's recently announced growth projections are going to affect you and how you can take advantage of it. If you were to ask 10 of your friends and family today, which you can do this as a test, ask 3, ask 10, do you know how much ChatGPT is worth today or how much money they make each year? And do you know how much they're projected to make in 2027 without looking it up? Most of them would not know the answer to that. So you're going to know today, you're going to know more information than most people know right now. And I'm going to encourage you to use this information to your benefit. You can share this information. You don't have to gatekeep it. But because you're hearing it first and understanding it first in your friend group, in your social group, you get to have first mover advantage. Early adopter advantage. And that is one of the most lucrative places you can be, is to have speed and early access. Any millionaire or billionaire that you know or that you've heard of, that you know their name, they use those two things. And I'm going to put it here, speed plus access. And I'm going to say early access is even better. So OpenAI owns ChatGPT. Now, I have to say, for compliance issues or reasons, my venture fund, Backstage Capital, owns a piece of ChatGPT and OpenAI. Okay, we invested in it. I got in. Whatever. I want you to guess without looking it up. Don't ask ChatGPT. Don't ask Google. I want you to play fair. Guess how much money OpenAI currently makes per year. 3, 1 billion, 10 billion, 7 million per year. It's not 7. It's not 3 billion. It's not 1 billion. It's not 10 billion. It was just announced that ChatGPT and OpenAI make $13 billion per year. That's just in their revenue, the cash they make. So they're worth a hell of a lot more. It's about $100 billion that it's worth right now. A lot more than that. And what was recently, so this was announced recently, the 13 billion. Does that surprise anybody? That's crazy numbers. It's the fastest growing SaaS company in history. Also, what was announced is that by 2027, this is projected to be 100 billion. And the thing is, how does this apply to you? Why did I put you here? Because yes, you're a consumer of ChatGPT. Some people have free accounts. Some people have paid accounts. I think it's like a 50-50 split, if I remember correctly, of how many people pay versus how many people are free on it. So yes, you're gonna use ChatGPT to kind of work on, in your daily life. So how this affects you is that 99% of the people who use it today and the people who will use it in 2027, which is 2 years from now, freaking crazy. That is not a long time for it to 7x. So everybody here say I use it every single day, daily. Somebody said once a week. Most people said daily. 99% of the people who use it today don't know how to use it to its full ability. Okay? That includes some of us, right? So we're using it, we're learning more. But again, you are online. I encourage you to ask 3 to 10 of your friends and family, how often do they use ChatGPT and what do they use it for? What have they used it to do? Do you know you can do this? Do you know you can do that? Because what you're able to do because of your early access and early adopter and speed, you're able to find out things about it faster than your group, faster than your audience potentially. Whatever your audience is, the reason people use it, the reason it's make this much money is because so many people use it. And the reason so many people use it is because it applies to everything. It's not just AI to talk about AI. If it were just AI that helped with AI projects, it would not be a $13 billion a year situation. But it permeates every part of your life. What do I cook tonight? What should I ask my mother about this question? What it was history like? How do I compare these two things, right? So there are literally a limitless number of people, except for the limit of how many people there are alive. The limit is the sky when it comes to who could benefit from knowing how to use ChatGPT better. Now, you could become a ChatGPT genius guru and spend 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, learning everything there is to know about ChatGPT and OpenAI, creating courses, doing lives for 2 to 3 hours. You could do that, and some of you will. But the majority of you fit into this other category of people who I say should be a guide. You're a ChatGPT guide. You're not an expert. You're not a guru. You're not obsessed. Or you can be obsessed for yourself, but you're not spending every waking hour learning about ChatGPT and the models and the interfaces and the complexities of that. You're simply saying, if most people are using 20% of ChatGPT, which I think that's a high number. I think it's a much less than that. But that's what we figured out last time. If most people are using 20% of the capacity, of the ability, of the potential of ChatGPT today, it's not that you need to teach them how to use the other 80%. It's that you teach them how to use another 20%. Unlock another 20%. I'll do that visual again because I think it's helpful. So if this is what, this is like a computer chip, but if this is what all of this is what ChatGPT can do today and what it will be able to do tomorrow, and it gets better and better. Today, I realized it answered a question that I had before better. So it is getting better and better and better. And let's say that right now, on average, most people use 20% of the potential. This is 80%. I'm not saying that you need to figure that out. I'm saying, what if you help people unlock another 20% potential? And not only do you help people do that, you help yourself do that, which in turn makes you a better entrepreneur and have a better quality of life. I want you to take a picture of this if you can, because what I want you to do is understand this as I erase it. I want you to understand this while I tell you the next step and what I've observed. This is super technical. This is super we'll never see 13 billion in our bank account. And why should we, right? I don't think anybody, I'm with Billie Eilish. I don't think anybody should be a billionaire. Although I know I could become one, I would give it away, most of it, right? So we're never going to see these numbers. This is like the big picture, though. Knowing this information is power. Say powerful in the chat if you understand that. Knowing this information that 10 minutes ago you didn't know. 20 minutes ago you didn't know this. And now you know this. And most people around you have no idea. So this is powerful. The second thing I'm observing is that I have seen several very recently, like in the last 2 weeks, I've seen a lot of people who are a lot of coaches who are making $1 million to $5 million a year, sometimes more, but I've seen it mostly in that group. They're making $1 million to $5 million a year. This is very specific, so hang on what I'm saying, okay? And they're making it through one-on-one or very heavy systems. They have large teams that have grown, and this is what they wanted. This is what a lot of us want that. We want, oh, I want to make $1 million a year, 2 million a year. I want to have 4, 5, 10 people, 12 people working with me, all of that, right? This is what they've grown. What I've noticed is that they're all waving the flag and saying, I'm going the other way. Don't like it now that I'm here. I don't like managing a team, a big team that's in-house. I don't like worrying about how they get paid. And if 1 month is not great and the next month is, how that manages out? Because I got to pay them either way. I don't like onboarding so many different customers who have their own questions. And so believe me when I say this, I need you to understand this part, okay? I am not saying don't do this, because when you're starting out, one of the fastest ways you can make money is like the first 10,000, the first 20,000 is to have one-on-one, is to get on phone calls. Continue doing that if you haven't made that amount yet. But what I'm saying to you is, big picture, what a lot of these people who did that and then just continued doing that model, scaled it, grew it to past $1 million, what they're saying is, I don't like it anymore. I don't like this model at scale. So if I'm observing that in these coaches, these agencies, these people who are like, it's cost $5,000, $10,000 to work with me. I'm going to have 100, 200, 300 clients, maybe even more. That high ticket, high volume is hurting once you get past a certain place. Use it for the beginning to get money in and make it manageable. Work with 3, 4, 5 people. Work with 10 people. But they're saying, I'm leaving that big and I'm coming back down to earth, and I don't need to make more. I'm going to make, instead of making 5 million a year, I'm going to make 2 million a year, because that's not bad and my profit margins could be higher. And what they're doing is they're just making their process smaller. Instead of 300 customers, they may have 30 or 100. And what I'm saying is, you take what we just learned and you do this. There's a video that I did several months ago called Calm, it was in capital letters, Calm Business. And I'm going to tell you what that stands for now. So you have these different stages, and I'll tell you what they stand for. So you have 0 to your first 5K, 5K to your first 10K, and I mean like online, You have 10K to 100K, and then 100K to $1 million. And this is going to work for all of this. If you want to go higher, you can always turn this into higher, but I want to show you how to do this first. Does that make sense? Okay, community, AI automation, leverage, and Lizam. Community, AI automation, leverage, minimalism. That is what CALM is standing for. Understanding it? Who here wants a calm business? Now make sure you go to the link at the top here, join Prop Shop in a Box, because that's what that's part of this, okay? Don't wait. There's more than 300 people in it now in 2 weeks. They all love it. Not one person is left. It is amazing. Okay. So you want it to be calm. You want it to feel like you are able to breathe. You are able to rest. You are able to think, hang out with your family, with your friends, with yourself. Who likes quiet time with yourself? You're able to just not be in a rat race and constantly on phone calls, constantly building up sales, constantly managing other people, constantly doing this and that and the other just to make the same amount of money that you could do with this type of business. Because the reason it works out that way is, let me see if I can do it over here. Let's say you make $1 million with a regular biz, like a regular coaching biz, but it costs you $200K in ads, which is, standard. And like I say, content, sort of like going all out on equipment and producing stuff. It costs you $200K on people, because you're spending money to bring in, even if it's fractional. It costs, and this is pre-tax. I'm not even going to talk about tax. It costs you $50K in travel, SaaS, which is the software that you use, and others, miscellaneous promos. And then it costs you another $200K in commissions or affiliates. This isn't a bad business. This is like a normal business, but that leaves you with $350K, which is still awesome. Don't get me wrong. That's $30,000 a month. That is not bad. But that's the situation, right? Again, as I do this, try to take pictures of it because I'm going to erase it fast. But I'm telling you, so $350K is what we were left with, okay, before tax. Now, let's do the same math for a calm business. Ads and content. Let's say you do some ads and content really is not going to cost you anything. But let's say you do some ads, but instead of this relentless pursuit of getting to 10 million, you say, hey, I'm going to spend $1,000 a month. So $12K a year on ads, because I do want to have them out there. You can get a ton done with $1,000 a month, a ton. On people, let's say, hey, I'm going to have, I might spend $50K because I'm going to have a couple of people who are very fractional, Fiverr, very fractional, runner, etc. Travel, SaaS, music. Hey, I'm still going to do this stuff because it's awesome. So I might even do just as much because I'm having a great time. And then commissions and affiliate. Now, this, instead of being 200, because you have these sales, these setters, you have the sales calls, you have all these different people, instead of being 200K, let's say that this is more like 38, just to make my math easier. 38K because you gave a ton away in affiliates. You don't have anybody selling anything in this scenario that I'm about to show you. But you have some affiliate sales because that's really awesome. I love doing affiliate sales. I do that on my school and other places. So what does that become? 150. So this is 850K that you're left with, and you made $1 million. But another way of thinking about this is, if this is 150, to get that same 350. So this is if you made the same $1 million in this business, which you could, but to get the same 350, you would have to make only half of this gross. So total. So in other words, if that was confusing, in other words, to make the same amount of money at the end of the year or throughout the year, you could have a $1 million business where you give away 65% of it because you're building for scale. Or you could have a $500,000 business a year that is gross, where you have the same outcome and it's calmer. So therefore, you don't have to worry about setters, salespeople, a bunch of people that you have to manage, a bunch of stuff that you have to figure out and become all these different types of people. So that's about making about $40,000 a month. I will tell you that today I've made more than $2,000 already. And I just mean through my digital products. I don't mean through all the other stuff that I do, because we won't even get into all that. Digital products, $2,000 or so. Digital products include my school memberships, include Prompt Shop, my Prompt Shop itself, and my Prompt Shop in a Box, my courses on Stan. It's 11 a.m. and I made 2,000 just from those things. And I made them once and they just continue to help people.